Good morning. This week I'm looking at the ninth move in the Shivashi set, which is the palm push. Now this is quite a simple move, but actually it illustrates an awful lot of the kind of complexities of Qigong that aren't always necessarily obvious. The first thing is that actually the term palm push is a little bit of a misnomer, because although superficially it looks as though you are pushing with your palm, in fact, you're not. The force that enables your palm to push things out of the way, which is essentially what you're doing, comes from your energy and also from your core. So this is a very good move for you to try and engage those core abdominal muscles. I think I've shown this illustration before about the difference between turning from the waist and doing what we normally do, which is turn from the hips. So just turn to look to one side, chances are that you're going to turn from the hips, which is fine. To an extent, the hips are meant to do that. But you have muscles here in your abdomen that are actually quite strong if they're trained up. The problem is most of us haven't got them trained up. And turning from the waist is an entirely different kettle of fish. It's quite important to be in good bear stance and to have those core muscles engaged, because a turn from the waist is like that. Now, if you're not practiced, you aren't going to be able to turn very far, but you know what? That doesn't matter. With the palm push, it's not a question of how far you move your palm. It's the important thing is that you use these core muscles and that you use your energy to give the palm the strength it needs to push things out of the way. Because make no mistake, this move is based on something that would have been used in combat, because literally you are pushing somebody out of the way. So the palm push starts off with one hand in front of your chest, thumb pointing towards the breastbone. Quite simple position. Now, superficially, what it looks as if you do is you stretch your arm out to push across. You won't be surprised to hear me say, no, that's not actually what you should be doing at all. So you get your hand in front of your chest, thumb is pointing towards your breastbone, and you turn from the waist. Your hand stays in the same position relative to your chest. So that's what's supposed to happen. Get into good bear stance, engage your core muscles, and turn. Now, it's worth pointing out that somebody who's been practicing these kind of exercises day in, day out for years, as used to happen back in the day when this was all being used on a regular basis, when we're talking back in the Dark Ages, people naturally had strong core muscles because that was how they worked. So the power comes from your body, not from your shoulder. And the other way that you get power through your hand is by imagining sending your breath and your energy along your arm and out through your palm. And I will sometimes use the phrase, imagine that energy coming out of your hand like a strong column of steel. Because trust me, when you've practiced and you know how to marshal your chi, it really can be very strong. Don't forget, in essence, what you are doing when you do something like this, use your core and imagine your energy coming out. You are doing exactly what a martial artist does when they go through these feats of breaking bricks and thick blocks of wood with their hands and their feet, and they do it without damage, because it isn't broken by the hand, it's broken by the chi And you can actually go online and you can find videos of Tai Chi masters who are literally throwing people around using nothing but their chi because they have learned how to master it. Simple way, this is exactly what I try to do every day when I do my daily practice, and it's what I'm trying to help you to do as well, because your chi can be a huge benefit. So, although it is called the palm push, can you see that the energy comes from the turn from the waist with the core muscles, and you add that little bit extra by imagining that you're breathing out through your hand, you're sending your chi to your hand, and trust me, your chi is far stronger than you are. Now, there are some moves where it can be helpful to do a thing called the warrior breath, which basically means on the out breath, you go because that gives a kind of emphasis to the fact that you're trying to push your energy along, and this is one move where this can be very useful. So, the full move is breathe in, breathe in, change your hands over, now I'm the first to admit that my turn from the waist is not as good as it could be. I still have a tendency to try and turn from the hips, but I'm practicing. And that's the other point about this. When you do this, you are not going to get it right from the word go. That's why you need to do daily practice, because if you really want to get the most out of your Tai Chi, that's how you do it, by doing some practice every day. Because then getting into bear stance and engaging these core muscles becomes almost automatic, so that when you need to turn from the waist, you've got the strength and you automatically do it. So, to go through it again, with the palm push on the in-breath, move one hand up in front of your chest, thumb pointing towards your breastbone. On the out-breath, turn from the waist, keeping your hand in the same position relative to your chest. And imagine breathing along your arm to send the energy out. Then on the in-breath, change your hands over and then turn and push in the opposite direction. If it's only a small move, because that's all you can do, turning from the waist, that's fine. I often use the phrase, small is beautiful with Tai Chi, because I don't want people to be working too much and trying to over push so that, they strain anything. Because one of the key things with Tai Chi is you need to be working well within yourself so you don't cause yourself any physical damage. I do sometimes use the phrase, small is beautiful, because if that's all your body can manage, that's all your body can manage, and you need to work within that. Now, I know I have one group of people who will be watching this who have extremely limited arm movements and also may have problems with their core abdominal muscles because of disabilities that they have. To them, I just want to say, yes, I know that this is probably bears very little resemblance to what you may do when I lead classes to you in person. And what I want to say is that doesn't matter. And to be honest, the same thing applies to anybody who's watching this video. When you know what you should be doing, if you can't do it, just imagine that you are. Because the one way that you move your energy around is with your imagination. Your imagination can be incredibly powerful. So if you can't get even close to doing it this way, just imagine that that's what you're doing. And to be honest, the most important bit of imagination, especially if you have a disability, which means that you can't move, is just to hold your hand up, pretend that you're turning from the waist, and just breathe along the arm and keep the movement to effectively nothing. Even if you can't do the turn from the waist, it's not worth stressing your shoulder to do anything like that. Okay, so I'll now go through the regular 4 moves that I take you through in these videos and then do a short mindfulness meditation at the end. So I'd like to invite you to get yourself into your nice space where you've got room to spread your arms out and where you won't be disturbed for the next few minutes. And I'd like to invite you to get into good bear stance, which, if I may remind you, is feet are hip width apart, feet parallel and facing forward, knees very slightly bent and relaxed, core abdominal muscles engaged, back straight, neck straight, chin tucked in so that the crown of your head is pointing up at the sky. Get yourself into that position and just for a moment, close your eyes and just breathe. Get used to this position. Maybe get a sense of how you need to feel at the end of this session. And then I'd like you to imagine yourself in that lift, that beautiful lift that's got glass walls, but you feel so safe. And that lift looks out over the most beautiful countryside. With every out breath, I'd like you to imagine that that lift gently floats down, floor by floor, until it reaches the ground. When you're ready, let your arms hang really loose. Try to get the feeling that they're almost weightless. Gently turn your hands so that your palms are facing backwards. And then when you're ready, with your next in-breath, slowly let your arms float up in front of you. As you breathe out, just let them sink back down. Find your own breath and your own rhythm. Don't worry what I'm doing. Just do what works for you, because we all breathe in different ways. The important thing is that as you breathe in, your arms just float up. And as you breathe out, you just let them sink down. Imagine that puppet string on your wrist. So it's almost as if your arms are moving without your consciousness. Breathe in, arms float up. As you breathe out, they gently sink back down. We'll do this move twice more. As you breathe out, let your hands sink down. And with your next in-breath, they rise up again and turn your palms in and let your arms spread out. As you breathe out, they float back in and back down. Again, tailor your move to suit your breath. Make this move as big or as small as suits you and your breath. Breathe in, your hands float up and then spread apart. As you breathe out, you float back in and back down. And then last time for this move. Next, bring breath. Bring your arms up, ready to paint rainbows. As you breathe out, dip gently on your left knee and let your right arm uncurl. As you breathe in, everything comes back to the balance point. As you dip, be careful not to bend. The back should still be straight. Give me twice more, once more time on this side. And the very last time on this side. As you breathe in, bring your weight to the centre, let your hands meet at the top, and then turn your palms outwards. As you breathe out, let your hands sweep down by your side. And on the in-breath, they rise up again. Breathe in, let your arms float up. You breathe out, your hands sweep down by your side. And we'll do this move twice more. And this time, as you breathe out, I want you to gently bring your hands into position, ready to balance your chin. As you breathe in, imagine you're feeling around a small ball, and as you breathe out, imagine you push that ball underwater. Please move twice more. Breathe in, feel around that ball, and breathe out. Try to push it underwater, and then last time for this move. And this time as you breathe out, bring your hands to rest in front of your abdomen. Just for a moment, stand very still. And just let everything settle. Just stand and breathe for a few moments. And when you're ready, get yourself into position for our mindfulness meditation, which as ever will begin with the sound of a singing bowl. While you're getting yourself comfortable, I'll just remind you that mindfulness is not about clearing your mind, it's about being aware of what your mind is doing. Some people find it easier to work with their eyes closed for the meditation because they can focus better. But it's perfectly okay to keep your eyes open. As I say, it's about focusing on what your mind is doing, not trying to clear your mind. And the first thing I want you to focus your mind on is the sound of the singing bowl. I'm going to sound the bowl 3 times. Third time, I'm just going to let the sound die away quite naturally. And I would like you to try to follow the sound of the singing bowl and find that point where the sound fades into silence. As the sound of the singing bowl fades away, can you just be aware of any other sounds reaching your ears. Don't go looking for sounds. Just be aware of what your ears are receiving. Let go of the natural temptation to identify or to classify. But just be aware of any sounds reaching your ears. Then I want you to move your awareness inwards so that you become aware of where your body is and what your body is feeling. Be aware of the touch of anything on your body from the bed or the chair or the floor. Maybe you can notice different textures. And maybe you can imagine that gravity pulls you a little stronger than normal, so you sink a little deeper into the bed or the chair or the stool or the cushion or wherever you are. As that happens, allow your shoulders to relax just a little bit more. And then I'd like you to focus your awareness onto your breath. I just want you to notice every in-breath and every out-breath. Just breathe quite normally. Don't change your breath in any way. Don't worry whether you're breathing right or whether you're noticing the right things, because whatever you notice is perfect for you. And if you become aware that your mind's wandered off, and that's normal because human minds are meant to think about things. So when you notice that your mind has wandered off, you're actually being mindful. But if it's wandered off, gently lead it back to focusing once more on every in-breath and every out-breath. Because whatever else may be going on, right here, right now, all that matters is just this breath coming in, just this breath going out. Just this breath coming in, just this breath going out. It doesn't matter how many times you may need to lead your mind back. When you notice that your mind has wandered, you're being mindful. And however many times it wanders away, just as many times, lead it back to focusing on your breath. Remembering that when you do that, once again you are succeeding in being mindful. So what do you notice about each breath? Can you feel air moving in your nose or throat? Are you aware of muscles moving in your chest or in your tummy, or maybe even in your back? Whatever comes most strongly to your attention, just let your attention rest there. And if there's something that you can't notice, just register a blank. And if all bits come strongly to your attention, then just follow the breath all the way in, and then again, all the way out. Whatever you are doing is perfect for you. Now, whatever you do notice about your breath, there is almost certainly movement involved. And so now I'd like to ask you to focus your awareness onto that brief moment of stillness that happens in between each breath. And your in-breath becomes an out-breath. And then again, when your out-breath becomes an in-breath, just for a moment, everything is still. And I don't want you to hold your breath or to lengthen that moment in any way. Just become aware of that very brief moment of stillness. Use your breath as an anchor to help you tap into that moment of stillness. Because stillness is something that can be very hard to find in a modern life. Not only are we busy rushing our bodies here and there, but our mind can be also rushing with thoughts. But it's important to find times to be still. And as you find that moment of stillness, find that stillness reflected in the stillness of your body and the stillness of your mind. Bring your awareness back once more to every in-breath and every out-breath. And I'd like you to let your awareness start to move outwards once more. So, can you maybe become aware of the touch of clothes on your skin? And then become aware once more of where your body is and whatever is touching your body, from the bed or the chair or the floor. Become aware of those textures against your body, and maybe different textures. And then let your awareness move out so that you become aware of the room and where your body is in the room. And then maybe become aware of sounds both inside and outside the room. And I'm going to ask you to listen once more to the sound of the singing bowl. I'm going to sound it 3 times. Allow your eyes to open, bring yourself back to full normal awareness. As you do, keep in the front of your mind the thought that you can take this good feeling with you for the rest of your day. Okay, I hope you've all enjoyed that, and if you're in the meditation, please do be very careful not to go and do anything that, like driving or riding a bicycle or anything until you're fully back in the room. It's possibly a good idea to have a drink of water or a cup of coffee or nibble a biscuit or something, just to completely ground you and bring yourself back to normal. I hope you found that helpful. I hope you found it enjoyable. Next week, I will be demonstrating the 10th move of the Shivashi set. And then I'll be doing the normal demonstrating and leading that brief 5-move set and doing the mindfulness meditation. As ever, if there's something specific that you would like me to deal with in the meditation, please leave a note for me underneath this video or PM me or whatever. And if you enjoy these videos, please feel free to share them with anyone else that you think may benefit. And if you really, really enjoy these videos and would personally like a bit of extra video time, then the link to my Patreon page where you can sponsor me for the paltry sum of $2 a month is also given in this post. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching me, and I will see you next week.